Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gents. Hope everyone is well. It is Monday, the 15th of May. If anybody doesn't know, I'm looking at the S&P 500 futures market. I'm trading the 2000 tick chart as opposed to a specific time frame, a specific minute or 5 minute time frame. All that means is each one of these bars represent 2000 trades, just in case. Not everybody knows, but I think most people know by now. Okay, so market officially opens in about 4 minutes. So Monday, weekend's gone. Monday's finally come around. So who we got in so far? Let me have a little look. Indy, how you doing, buddy? Why is that frozen? Something looks frozen. What's going on? Why is that frozen? What is going on? Indy, how you doing, buddy? Why is that frozen? Hold on a second. Can anybody hear me and see? Looks okay. Frozen. I'm not sure if I got mine on the right settings. Can anybody hear me and see me okay? Stream. Indy, how you doing, buddy? Why is that frozen? Hold on a second. Why is that frozen? Good morning, Sam. Can everybody see me? Hear me okay? Can they? Okay. I'm not sure if I got mine on the right settings. Can anybody hear me and see me okay? I don't know whether I was actually streaming. Okay. I just did it a bit different today. Indy, how you doing, buddy? Okay. Indy, good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are. I think most of you are US based apart from good morning, Sam. Can everybody see me? Hear me? How you doing, Indy? Girl Daddy. I'm not sure. Good morning. How you doing, buddy? Hear me? Harminder Singh, how are you? I don't know whether I was JW. I just did it a bit different today. Indy, how you doing, buddy? Okay. Good morning, mate. Indy, good morning. Good afternoon, wherever you are. I think most of you are US based apart from Echo. Morning, Sam. Can everybody see me? Hear me? How you doing, Andy? Girl Daddy. I'm not sure. Good morning. How you doing, buddy? Give me a second. Bear with me a second. Hopefully this might sort things out. Bear me a second. There we go. I think everything's working fine now. All it is, I was playing my live stream for some reason. Now it's disastrous. It should be okay now. Just let me know again if everything's fine. It's echoing loads. Right, it might be okay now. I've just flicked on to what I did is I just played it for some reason. Now, okay, yeah, that's fine. All better. Yeah, okay. For some reason, I just played it instead of what's in, but I don't know what's going on. I'm not the most technically gifted guy around, but there we go. Anyway, we're in anyway. I just did it a bit different today. That's all for some reason. All it is I've put I have my OBS streaming, which gives me all the information, and then I've got the YouTube with all your guys' comments. I used to have that on 2 screens. I've got it on 1 separate screen now. So what it is I noticed a couple of times I missed an overall picture. So I've got the screen that you can see, and if I quickly drag this in as well, I've got just 1 big screen above with a zoomed out picture. So I can see, that's how I used to have it, so I can see a blown out overall picture, so I can maybe mess around on that with some, yeah, I can maybe mess around, just check I'm not missing a bigger picture. I did a trade the other day, I was sort of zoomed in like this, and what I did, we'd had a break and we'd had 2 legs down, and I went long, and what it did is it ticked up and came down, and what I didn't realise is we'd had a bigger trend like this. So I was thinking, you know, 2 legs back, we're going higher, and what I didn't realise, we've got a bigger trend. So all I've done is I've put my 2 things I need for the streaming on 1 screen. I've got the one you can see on my 2nd screen, and my 3rd screen, as I mentioned, I've just got a blown up bigger picture, that's all. So I can keep that zoomed out and I can see what's going on in the bigger picture. Hey Speedy, how you doing, buddy? So hopefully that should sort the problems out. I'm trying to stop saying. Someone mentioned me the other day, and I think it was in all good faith. He went, "You keep going, and it's doing my head in." And he put a little LOL thing on there. So it's just something I do if I'm talking about it, and I'll talk about something else. But some people might do the dreading. We all have our own little quirks. I have a little nervous cough as well. I have. No, I think that's to do with the trading. I've noticed. My wife says I was watching one of your videos of the day. She was showing somebody, a sister or something, and she says you got this little cough which you keep doing. The only thing I can think of, it's down to the nerves. So that's it. Accounts back to normal today. Nice one, Apex. They sorted you out, did they? Okay, brilliant. Just got a nice 2 points on the failure. Yeah, I looked at those. A little bit too far away from the EMA for me. I'm not 100% sure what's going on. And the market has... Oh, okay, market's officially opened. So I'm trying not to do that little nervous cough. I'm trying to be aware of what I'm doing. But not only that, because I'm talking. I don't drink enough and it dries your throat out a little bit, so that doesn't help. So, and I'm trying to stop doing the so. I know it's just something I do, but it was doing someone's head in, so I'm going to try and make an effort not to do it. So we'll see how we get on. Maybe I should talk a bit less, I think, and maybe trade a bit more, talk a bit less. So, yeah, I know there was a few people who had some problems with Apex. Luckily, they didn't cause me any problems. I never was in a trade, but there were a lot of people where an Apex sorted it out. One thing I did want to say is I've just got one of those. Has anybody seen the One Tick Trader? I messaged the guy and asked him if I could give a trial of it, and if I like it, I'll buy it, and I'll if anybody else mentions it, I'll sort of pass your details on. But they don't do any affiliates or anything like that. But it's One Tick Trader. I noticed there are a few traders that use it now. It's about $200, which is more than I really wanted to pay, but it is supposed to make life a lot easier, because obviously if I'm trading a short there, I've got to do that, which covers my price. So it's just a bit of a pain. So it goes here. It's One Tick Trader. So I've downloaded that. He's let me use it for a couple of weeks, and I said if I like it, then I'm pretty sure there may be some customers that want to use it as well. Now, there's no link or there's no affiliate or anything, so it's you buy it for yourself. But I thought I'd give it a try and see what it's like. I noticed a few traders on the Facebook group use it, so let's give it a go. So I'm going to download it tonight, install it on here, and just play around with it for a couple of days first before I use it with my live accounts. Not advisable to use a new piece of software when you're trading on live accounts until you've had a play around with it. So let's see what happens. So let's see how we get on today. Maybe something like a spiking channel or something. It's possible. Looks like a spiking channel. So there was some news at 1:30 UK time. I don't think anything really happened. It was high impact news. Maybe a little bit more of a movement there or there possibly, but then everything seems to carry on fine. So let's focus on your trading as being distracted with others. Think of your dialogue will be detrimental. Read that again. Let's focus on your trading as being distracted with... Yeah, I know what you're saying. To be honest with you, if, like at the moment, I'm not thinking of shorts at the moment because we're far away from the EMA, so I'm keeping an eye on it, and then I might have a little bit of chit-chat, but I tend to chat a bit when tend to chat a bit when I'm not trading. Okay, that kind of fits quite nice. So I know what you're saying. Occasionally, I missed a trade, but I think that's okay. We've had that little bit of a push down. We've worked in this bottom section. Now, I will talk when I'm talking through things because this is what I tend to do anyway. I think out aloud. And we're working in this top section, so it's either that or it's a spiking channel. Could be something like this. It's hard to say at the moment. Does anybody else use any other charts like the 10,000 tick? I did use it for a while, going back maybe 4 or 5 months ago when I first started. I can't remember if it played a part. Just be interested to find out if anybody else does use it, you know, as like a bit of an anchor chart or something like that. I'm just trying to think the safest option here. It's all right. I'm not looking at the comments. I'm just chatting myself. Touch there, touch there. Looks like a spiking channel. What I don't want to do is accidentally miss a break and a new low. Just a quick question. Is anybody using a trade copier now? At the moment, I've got 3 PA accounts I wanted to trade. 2 of them at 1 contract and 1 at 2 contract. Now, I'm pretty sure I go on to ratio and I do the ratio. I can't remember how to set it. This one account I've got as 1 contract, another one I wanted as 1 contract, and another one I wanted to double that for 2 contracts. I can't remember what to put in ratio. You just put 1.00 and 0.50 half. I'm not too sure how to do that. Let's have another look. Let's keep it on exact quantity for now. Don't Don't want to get it wrong. Mid-trade. Okay, break. I can't see any other break, even if we're doing that. It's still a break. Whether it's a break from there or a break from here, it's still a break. Just going to get an order ready just in case an opportunity does come along.
Order submitted.
Well, I was trading a specific number of contracts. I put it on my pre-allocate. Just enter the number of contracts. Yeah, I'm going to have play around with it. To be honest with you, I know, although I'm not using Apex, I'm using Replicanto. I know Daryl Martin talks about it. It's basically the same setup. I'll read through that again. I'll watch through that again tonight and get it right before I start changing around. What I don't want to do is start upping everything or doubling this. So I'll just figure it out later. I'll just trade the one. What I'd like to do, see, is just have sort of maybe 1 in every 3 of my live accounts just on 2 contracts and the rest on 1. But I'll trade just the 1. So I'm seeing smaller amounts of money so it doesn't have sort of psychological effect. Trade copy ratio. Yeah, so if I have the 1 account showing at 1, I have another one showing at 1. That's the large one, the one which will double it, and the other one showing at half, which should be the same. No, that'll be half. I'll have to have a go later. Okay, so possible second entry short here. If we can push up a little bit and break here. There's a first entry. Does seem like not a lot of these work as well as they used to. So, we need to get above here, really. I'm not taking it. I'm getting a little bit more selective with my trades again. I'm not randomly taking this because it looks okay. I'm trying to focus a little bit more now. Besides that, it's an inside bar if it finishes like that, so it's a no starter. It's still got a chance of pushing up with another bar, but this is where I need to get for that measured move. The reason I'm putting that there is I just want to remove this. Just this looks like one leg. 2 legs. Not only that, tried to go low once, tried to go twice. Failure triggered. Try go once, try go twice, try go third time. If we can break below something like this, then let's say one leg, the two-legged correction, and another leg. If we can get something that touches close to here, bearish, then I might be interested in that. I can't see where there's been a break, depending on where we started. If we went there, came to here, it's hard to say really. I think the best option looks like a spike and channel, but I wouldn't swear to it. Okay, so if you took that failure, if you're thinking it's broken here somewhere and you think you might be working back up, and you took that failure, it triggered you and stopped you out. So what I haven't done is opened up my day. And also the market open, I haven't done that yet. Do that in a minute. Somewhere here anyway, I think. Okay, that came down. I couldn't take it. It looked a little bit sideways. I thought if I get involved in that, it could tick out the bottom and push back up. Just don't know. At least we made a new low now anyway, so that's a bit clearer now. But I am just, I'm staying out of the crap now. It's just doesn't do me any favors. I took a trade on Friday. I didn't take one all day Friday, and I just took a stupid one Friday. Just out of, I don't know, lack of patience, I think. I'm not doing it anymore. I've had enough of just messing around. I need to start taking this a little bit more seriously. I just feel like I experiment a bit too much. I know enough now to make money. I suppose if I was I don't know, if I owned a garage or if I was a car salesman, I wouldn't buy a car to sell by just having a quick look out the window, would I? Be taking a risk. I'd get inside it, start it up, look at the engine, check the oil, all that sort of stuff. So I've got to take it a bit more seriously before I get into some of these trades. And it's just congested there. Where do you take it there, really? There is nowhere, really, is there? The only second entry is there, and it's an inside bar. There wasn't two full moves. And part of the reason why I didn't even get involved in here is I'm not 100% convinced that line is right. I don't think it's far off. And I'm just concerned that I have made a break and I'm going to end up trapped and the market's pushing up. But okay. It's by the by now anyway. We've had a break in a new low, so let's see whether this comes down or how far. Let's get
order cancelled.
Side note, taking that second entry short at first break would have been stopped out. That one there, yeah. I'd never have taken that anyway. It just clearly doesn't look right to me. It clearly, for me to get involved here, has to push up something like this and then pull back down there. I mean, it's an inside bar anyway, so it's naff. I wouldn't have taken that one. There's nothing that I'd have taken there, to be fair. And by the time we've had this one pushed back, it's clearly sideways. You know, if you'd have gone short there, it might have ticked out, pushed back up, stopped you out, gone sideways a bit more, and then tanked. So I know enough now to stay out of stupid trades like, you know, like that. Or there's clearly no setup there. Certainly not on my chart. In fact, let's just reload my data. I think I did it earlier, but okay, nothing's really changed. I think everything looks the same. Just pointing out your one tick stopped out lately. Oh yeah. No, I had a bit of a conversation on Facebook over the weekend about being taken out by one tick. I don't know if you remember, I took a lower high in a range last week, something like this, whatever it was. Took me out for a tick and came down. That happens now and again. So my thoughts were, what if we increased our stops by one tick? Because, you know, they talk about things like the algos or stops, the stop hunters or whatever they call them, taking you out for one tick. I'm just wondering. Now, obviously, Mac teaches there, if you were to take, I don't know, let's say, for instance, you were to go short at that bar, you would take put your order one tick below. Well, I don't. I take it on a limit order, and I actually hold my limit order right actually on the bar. So the second it drops below, I let it go. So straight away, I've saved myself a tick. Maybe I could put that tick, an extra tick above the top. So just in case I get one of those that takes me out for a tick, my stop is 2 ticks above. What I've started doing is making a little note, the scenario. So we're in a range. I took a second entry. I took a lower high and got taken out for a one tick. I'm just going to note every loss that I have, which hopefully isn't many, and just make a note of whether it took me out for a tick or not. Because if 7 out of 10 of my trades take me out for one tick, it's not going to be that much. Then I'd be better off giving an extra tick. It's just a thought. I mean, you know, it's always good. I mean, the thing about trading is when you're sitting these markets, you notice these patterns and you notice when things happen. So if I happen to take three losses in a week, and 2 out of 3 of them took me out for one tick, and I would have made 3 points potentially, then in that case, if it turns out to be anywhere above 50%, then you'd be better off giving an extra tick instead of having one tick. You know, and if you think, but an extra tick, it's an extra $12.50. But instead of putting your order one tick below that signal bar, maybe hold it on the bottom of the signal bar, wait with a limit order, wait for it to tick below and then drop it. But it's just a thought anyway. It's just a thought I had. I just wanted to see what opinions people had. But for the sake of $12.50, if it happens once in every 5, so you're going to lose $50, but say $50 on the 4, but the one that wins is going to make you 3 points. So you never know. Good afternoon. Hey Bill, how you doing? How's the trading going? Not too bad, mate. Not too bad. How are you? How's your trading coming on? So remind me, you're Malpass, aren't you? about 30 miles up the road, 25, 30 miles up the road. We've had some nice weather lately. It's been nice around this area. Okay, so we've had a break. And we've seemed to be holding here somewhere. Let me just have a look at this. Let's just put that there. There is a little bit of... It's holding there. So this may be a little area where it might bottom. I don't know. It's hard to know what it's doing yet. We've just gone up and come down, so I don't know whether we're ranging or what. Let's just put that there for now. Just in case. I like to start with that. At least we know what area we're working in. If I'm not mistaken, in Mac's manual, it's even written that the stop loss should be or 2 ticks below or above. However, the more recent stuff talks about... I swear I heard him say it should go at least 1 tick above the stop loss in something. And I noticed when I first started streaming, I started moving my stop and it saved my arse a couple of times. And if you get 2, 3 or 4 points out of a trade, even if it happens 20, 30% of your losses, you're still going to be well in the money. So it's just a thought, actually. I'm going to start making a note anyway, so that the proof's in the pudding, really. I can do it over the space of maybe a month. Just work out what trades I lost and by how many ticks. If it's more than 2 ticks, you give it a tick anyway, but that extra tick, if it's more than 2 ticks. Yeah, I thought you did. I meant 1 or 2 ticks. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I heard him mention at least 1 tick. That extra tick, because I don't know whether it's traders that stop you out or people talk about the algos that stop you out. And a lot of cases, if they're going to stop you out, these stop hunters, whatever they call them, usually they'll stop you out for 1 tick because they know where your stop's going to be. But if you give it that extra tick, then sometimes it's going to help you. And obviously, it's weighing up the pros and the cons. If I trade, I tend to trade between 2 and 4 points, depending on what market conditions are like. So if I average 3 points, that's 12 ticks. If I, if say 10 of my trades don't work, more than 1 tick, I've lost 10 ticks. But if 2 of them do, if I trade 12 and 2 of them do, then I've more than got my money back. So it's just a thought. Some food for thought. You never know. Where did I miss? Bill. And not been doing to back the first week of the evaluation even, but not doing too bad, up $922. Excellent. Good on you, mate. You're a third of the way there, assuming you're doing the $50,000. Yeah. Some people take quite a while. I personally think if you're taking your time, I think you've got some good skills there as a trader, because that tells me you've got patience. Whereas I've always tried to rush mine, and a lot of people do. But if you've got the patience to sit there for maybe 10, 15, 20, 25, I know one guy who's taken 45 days. If you've got the patience to sit there and you're not trying to rush or trying to hit the big time or get lucky, that's good for you. I think that's a good attribute to have. So if it is taking your time and you're sticking to it, because what I do, if I tend to go down, I'll tend to just take a risk and I either blow the account or move on. A lot of traders will think like that on evaluations. I'd rather pass them quick. Now, a week ago, I did an evaluation and I came back in the evening and I saw one leg and a potential other leg. So what I did is I saw one leg down, a 2-legged correction, and I took a trade there and I put my stop 6 points and 1 tick down, and I traded 10 contracts and it went exactly where I thought it was going. Ah, there we go. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. I must have just hit it. Nicked it, sorry. I read the pass out and I thought, hey, got you. I'm back in. Sorry, all I was saying is just out of curiosity, this may be a leg down, a two-legged correction, and another leg down. In which case I drew this larger channel, so don't pay no attention to it. What we've had here is this channel, we've had a break and a new low. So it's probably played out. I just thought I'd put it there just to see where it came to, but I'd say this is probably more likely where we're bottoming and probably pushing up. But I just thought I'd put it there out of interest. Let's remove it for a minute. Yeah, it's all right. I've just got my hand around my face and I've got the mic. I just must have just nicked the button. The 10 contract. Oh, it passed. If you take a trade, now don't get me wrong, I only do this on evaluation. Don't do it on a PA account because obviously, I don't know, 1 in 3 you'll blow on an evaluation, I think. Now, we had a leg down, a clear two-legged correction. We had a push down and a lower high. Disconnect and reconnect. Okay. OBS reconnection successful. Okay. Not seen that before. So what it is, if you trade 10 contracts, which is the maximum on a $50,000 account, if the market goes 6 points away from you, you're buggered. But if you set your... now, I don't advocate this. This is just the way I do it. If you set your... You take profit at 6 points and 1 tick, that will give you enough points and that will give you enough profit and that will make you about $70 after fees above your 3,000. And that $70 then is more than enough to cover 1 micro a day. It's just how I do it. I'd rather get the PAs out the way now. The evaluations out the way. But you've got to wait for a good trade that you think it's going to go 6 points. Now, to be honest with you, 6 points isn't a huge amount. So just for instance, if this was another leg down, if you took your order here, 6 points and a tick is just there. That's it. It's not a huge amount to come, but if you traded 10 contracts and say you went short here, you'd have passed that evaluation. Now, that's just how I do it. I know a lot of other traders get them done quick. It's just a personal thing. You are going to blow some, that's for sure. And I only tend to do that when we're on at least 80% off. But yeah, that 10 contract one passed. When did I do that? I did that one on Friday. You can see, I'll just drag that bit in there. You can see it there. That's what I got it up to just on the Friday, 3,000, whatever it is. And I just did 1 micro. I saw a really good opportunity. It was later in the evening. I was just keeping on the charts and I saw that one and that's what it made. It zoomed past my order and I've just done a micro. So I'll do a micro for the next 6 days. But it's down to you whether you want to do it that way. I tend to prefer it that way. I like them done. But you are going to blow more. So I can't really take this at the moment. Although it's a second entry short. The trouble is because we've had this and it's played out, I don't think there's anything larger working there. It may be something like that, in which case we'll pull back. I just don't know, see, that's the trouble. You could get trapped here. It may trigger below and push up. It's not a great signal bar anyway, so I don't know. Well, maybe it is. Is it worth the risk? Is it worth the risk?
Order submitted.
I'm going to give it a chance to tick below, see what happens. But what I don't want to do is get caught out. See, it's moving pretty quick there. It could come up. It hasn't gone far yet. Let's drop that order and see if it comes back and goes. I don't think it's going to. No, too late. Yeah, you just got to be careful with things like that because we've already had this channel down in a break. See if it comes and gets us. If we've had this break, we've pushed down again. It's only gone a point and a bit. It's already pulled back a little bit. I don't think it's going to come and get us. No. Trouble is, it could do this a little bit and then push up. Okay, so I would have taken it. Okay, so it did work.
Order
The
canceled.
trouble is, at the time, I've got this now. Anybody take that, did they? The trouble is, then you've extended it. The trouble is, you've got to give it a chance to come back to the. It may push higher, really, before you start putting other channels in. Just gets a little bit risky, that does. That was obviously a clear channel where we had a break and a new low. And it bounced a couple of times there, which tells me then maybe that's the bottom. Maybe it's going to push up, but we had a second entry short and it's clearly come down some more. You took that, did you? You took that for 2 points. Yeah, it just concerned me because if you look here, we've only really touched it once from here, or twice, let's call that, and we've pushed through it. So that's just why it makes it a little bit riskier. It should go there, really. Let's have a look. It's touched it once on the back end and twice on the top, so it's not really confirmed as a channel. Now, the trouble is with that, it could tip below and push up. We might have one leg, a couple of legs back, and another leg up. So there's no guarantees it's going lower, especially when we're coming down to these lows here, which is why I left it alone. That's the trouble. See, you just do not know. You got your $1,000. Good on you, mate. Up $1,900 on the day. Might call it quitty. I would, mate. If you're up $1,900 on the day, I definitely would. Try to make that spike and channel instead. Let's have a look. Yeah, in fact, let's just remove that a minute. I think this spike and channel may be a bit lower then. Let's have a look. It's so hard, isn't it? It's just... Actually, that doesn't look too bad. Trouble is, at the moment, all I really saw was that one, so there's no guarantees. It's a shame. Now I've got that. It's making a bit of sense. It's still not the clearest of channels. That's the trouble. Sometimes they work nice and sometimes they don't. That's a bit iffy. I mean, it may turn... Oh, no. Maybe not. Yeah, it's hard to say, really, isn't it? Touches here and touches a couple of times. It may have been a bit lower. It's hard to know where exactly to take it from. Excuse me. Short at the 1 minute bear flag. I wish I'd have taken it now, but to be in all fairness, I had this channel on a break, so it's just not very clear, really. It's not very clear at all. Where does that go then there? It's hard to say. It's not the clearest of... I mean, that's coming down there. It came across sideways. It's only really touched once on the back end, which that's what made me a little bit nervous. I would say, if we are continuing down, I don't think it'd be long before we end up doing something maybe like this. I mean, in all honesty, I've just done it on a larger. It could be something like that. It's possible. It's hard to say at the moment. Shame that. If I'd have got that in the right place. Well, it's not very clear, actually, is it? And that's why it's a bit confusing. And not just that, we've come down to the bottom. So this is a place, if it's going to bounce, where it's likely to. 5 contracts took 4 points with a stop. Good on you, mate. Got a larger spike in channel, not quite as steep. I wouldn't have thought it'd be long before it brings into place something like up here. It's pretty likely it's going to go from here at some point. I mean, I've got my bigger screen up here. Look at that. Kind of works okay so far, doesn't it? On the blown out picture. If you look up here, it's working in this top section, isn't it? After the spike, it's working in this bottom section. So it may turn into something like that. That's kind of why I've started putting that bigger screen back. Just to give me a bigger picture. Okay, so this may turn into a couple of legs. Now, what I'd like is for it to push up, touch the EMA and the bottom of this channel with something nice, and then I'll be interested in going short. So there was obviously an order there which was taken, so we may get a day where we get some decent pickings for a change. Don't forget, guys, at the moment it's still 80% off all Apex evaluations right until the end of the month, so you've got about another 15 days thereabouts, something like that. My code's up there. Where is it? Yeah, it's down here. You know where it is. If you use it or you have used it, it's much appreciated. Okay, so after that initial push up, we push down. So this could be 2 legs. Now, I'm not sure where you draw your legs from. You could draw it from there, or you may draw it from there. I'd probably say here. The trouble is, let's do it from there. I'd rather, if I'm going to get into something and I think it's coming down, I'd rather get out a little earlier. If you do extend it, it's just going to be a bit lower. That's fine. I'd rather get out earlier. Just something to keep in mind, we've had several hard bursts in the area all last week. I know we only trade 1 day chart that happened. Yeah, okay, mate. Yeah. I mean, if you we trade a day at a time, but look at that. It's clearly sort of doing exactly the same thing, isn't it? So maybe you would expect it to reverse down here. So thinking about it, if I put that trade there, it wouldn't be far off there, really. Wouldn't be far off those bottoms. So another thing as well, the ATR is quite low. I remember hearing Al Brooks say, sometimes when you get lots of little candles in a downtrend, small moves grinding down get on any second entry short. So whether we are going to have a day like that, I don't know. But as I mentioned, it'd be nice to get a second entry up to here. The ironic thing is, if we are in a range, this could be a breakout that's failed and pushed in, so you'd have to make sure you get a decent short.
Order submitted. Order cancelled.
It's all right,
Order
I'm just trying
submitted.
to... Okay, so that's both worked. So...
Order cancelled.
So, just a quick thought here, guys. I've got that ratio down there. I'm trading that account at one contract. If I want to trade one of the others at one contract and one at two contracts, do I leave that one at 0? Or do I put it at 1 and that 2? Anybody idea? Got my version of the account today. My profit, guess it's going to be 6 days of MES. That's fine, 6 days, no problem with that. Yeah, I just want to keep that. This is the account I'm trading at one contract. I want to keep this account at one contract and this account at two contracts. How do I set that? Any ideas? I'll come back to it in a minute. Exact quantity. It's all right, just in case I'm short here. If you want to double one of them but keep one the same, what do you put on that, I guess? Pre-allocation. Oh, is that what it is? Okay, I'll just keep it exact quantity at the moment, just in case we get a second entry short here. Put 2 in the 2 contracts. Let's just see if we get something here. You watch, I'll get a massive runner in there, which I've already done it. That to me, is that like a visual? I like the way it's come back to the key entry point. Let's have a look. Tempted to take that.
Order submitted.
Not now, not.
Order cancelled.
Measured move from 2 legs down after the close outside spike and channel. I don't trust. You don't trust that pink one there? Be nice to know where Mac's got it, but probably a bit early for Mac, isn't it? Sorry about that. Let me just get... Oh, come on. Sorry about that. Let's put it over here. Just see if we got anything from Mac yet. No, we haven't. Close outside. Are you on about this one? You think it's like this, B, do you? In which case it's a close outside. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Just I don't like any of it, to be fair. Just remove it a minute. Well, you could call that hidden second entry short. Just I can't see anything I don't like at the moment. Original one. Did I have it about here? Did I? I can't remember now. Just something doesn't look right. Okay. I think we can all agree a close outside, so you'd expect a new low. So let's see how this, it can be a leg up. I've noticed it does this lately, pushes up like this and then comes down from here. So see what happens anyway. Pre-allocated, okay. So, excuse me, if I'm taking a pre-allocated 19, PA account 19 is what I'm trading there. So I leave that as it is. What do I do? Put 1 in there and 2 in there. Is that right? Just have a look for me. Just let me know if you think that looks right. So the lead account, I've got that set to 1. I put 1 of those to 1 and 1 to 2. Does that mean pre-allocated contract size? Is that? Tell you what.
Order
See if anything
submitted.
comes up. Okay, so they're all coming up, but they don't tell you.
Order cancelled.
Just have a look at that. Yeah, okay. Just someone else give me yes, so I know there's a couple of you. So pre-allocated, that's the account I've got there. Showing 1 contract, that's the account there. You can do ratio. If it's pre-allocated, that's fine. So that one will do 1 contract, the same as the lead, and that one will do 2 contracts. Is that right? I've not used that before, pre-allocation. I mean, it's showing that they're triggering when I right click and get an order ready. Yeah, that's correct. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I'll give it a go anyway. What's the worst that's going to happen? No matter what size, actual lead trade will always be the trade pre-allocation size. Okay. So that'll trade 1. One of those will trade 1 contract, and a third will trade 2. I use all the time since I'm trading 150. Gotcha. Fair enough. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Okay, so I click buy
Order
limit
submitted.
So if I do the second one, that's still there. If I do the third one, that's still there. Doesn't say contract difference, but I don't think it really matters, does it? Okay, at least they're all coming up anyway. We'll see what happens. Okay, so 19 is the lead account. Trading 1 contract on that. Yeah, there's the lead. Trading 1 contract. Second account trading 1 contract. Third account trading 2 contracts. I'm assuming pre-allocation means pre-allocated contracts, doesn't it? I'm assuming. That's fine anyway. Let's give it a go. Yeah, it says 2. Brilliant. That's fine.
Order cancelled.
Excellent. Okay. Look on the order line.
Order submitted.
Buy 1 there. Buy 1 there. Buy 2 there. Fan bloody dabby dozy. I got you. Excellent. Who said that? Who said look on the order line? Jay. Brilliant. Thanks, Jay. I got you. Okay, so 1, 1 and 2. That's excellent.
Order
Excellent.
cancelled.
It's all right. It's not something you really want to get wrong, is it? Okie dokie. Bingo. Excellent. Cancel all of them. Oh no, yeah, all done, I think. I've actually extended this a bit. I used to have these here. The trouble is, once you start to get a lot of accounts, you need a little bit of space, don't you? So all I know to do is to right click and flatten everything in the top, cancel all orders in the bottom. I'm usually around here anyway, so I'm pretty close to it. So all I'll do, whatever happens in a trade, I'll just make sure they end up 0. So hopefully. Okay. So just out of interest, where we're coming to now, just on my bigger chart up there, I've just done that. I've gone from the top and usually go from this top bit. Bottom fits. Let's just see where it sits. But I like the way it's pushed through and it's working in this section. Not that I'm going to use this. This is just an extra picture up here for me, that's all. Just so I can have a quick glance and see something a bit bigger. Yeah, what I want to do is with every 5p accounts, I just want one of them with 2 points. But I'm only going to actually trade the one so I can see the smaller amounts. You trade 2 contracts, see, so obviously you'll see larger amounts of money there. But what I've done, I think, is I wanted to put it onto points, which I have profit and loss in points, because I tend to go for, I like what Taylor does. He tends to go between 2 and 4 points. Now, you know, if I'm, I don't know, if I'm going short here and there's 6 points to the low, taking 4 points works. If I'm going here and there's 3 points to the low, then maybe 2 points might be a better option. So I'll sort of toggle between 2, 3 and 4 points. If things are a bit sideways and choppy, I'll reduce it to 2, but somewhere around there, which tends to get me to average around 3 points, which at the moment, a tick above that, it's a little over 1-to-1. So I just like the way, if I win 1, lose 1, it's always a little bit in my favour. And I'm just going to just take better trades. I need to, the trouble is when you're trading a lot of the time you have this, I'll give it a go, or I'll try this one, or this one looks like it might be right type of attitude. And that's sort of how you learn. But at some point you have to say, okay, well, if I want to try and experiment, maybe I do it in the evening after trading on a demo. But I can't be experimenting or trying things when I'm actually trading my proper account. So what I need to do is sit there and wait for a great trade. Unfortunately, I didn't have that right. But as far as a second entry short, the key entry point goes, it's a great trade. It's a good trade. The only way that would look better is if that body was slightly higher and the push was up here maybe. I always like the bodies, something like this, tucked in nicely below there and with a bit of a stem. Okay, so maybe this is a leg up, a push down, I don't know. It's hard to say. But if I bring down this bigger account that I just marked up here, where it sort of fits so far, doesn't it? Gone right from this tick to the next low. Well, in fact, it's a tiny bit slower, a tiny bit lower than that. That's about right, somewhere around there. Fits nice. So whether that'll be right or not, I don't know. But I just put that there just purely out of curiosity. I just like to have a slightly bigger picture, maybe something I'm missing. See if you have a channel up here at a break, and I'm expecting to make a new high. If we're in a downtrend, which I've done before, ticks above you and then comes down, and then when you zoom out, you realise you've got a downtrend. So whether we've got something like that, I don't know. Push up, break, new high, try go. If we can push below the EMA and give us something bearish, then maybe a failure below the EMA or something. We'll see. I don't know. I can't see anywhere else how that would work. Okay, that is possible. So it is possible this might not be right. We've had a break and it might indeed be working up. It's hard to say. But at the moment, we've been trending down, so I don't, even if we get a second entry from here, I'm not taking things. I'm not going long, just in case it does end up being something like that and I get trapped going along and we're in a downtrend. This is another one of these areas that I need to think about what I'm doing. So it could be something like that. It's possible. I don't know. I'm just trying to take better. Now, if I can average one trade a day at around about 4 points, that will give me one hell of a nice living over a bunch of accounts. So I'm just trying to slow things down a bit. It is about coming back down to earth. I think when you're learning to trade, you're full of all these people saying they're earning this amount of money, and after a while you realise this money can be earned, and sometimes you're up on cloud nine and you're aiming too high too quick, and sometimes you've got to come back to earth and think, okay, I want to get there, set myself a plan, reduce my risk, reduce my contract size, take my time and build up, rather than keep slogging away at too much risk for another 2 years and realise it then. So I've spent my time trying things and experimenting and giving this a go and giving that a go. And I've learnt enough to know that what I'm doing doesn't really work. You might get lucky for a couple of weeks or a month, but ultimately you need to sit there and take nice quality trades end of. So let's just put that there like that and put that there like that, just in case we have one leg, a bit of sideways and another leg. So this could really be a range day now. This might just be a break out of this bottom. So we're pushing up at the moment. No trades for me just yet. So I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break. And I'm going to go and make a cup of tea because my mouth is drying out. So be smart, looking for the best trades. Absolutely. The trouble is we all try and take stupid risks, don't we? Because we all want to get there at the speed of light. It just doesn't happen. And if we actually think about all the things we've been told about trading, one of the most common things we hear is people they take too much risk and they want to grow too big too quick. And it makes perfect sense, but for some reason we don't seem to listen to it. So there you go. So finally I might be starting to listen. So there you go. Okay, quick 5-minute break. And I will be going to make a quick cup of tea and I'll be back. Hmm. Yeah, see, it's hard to know what's going on now. I mean, it certainly seems like we're pushing up, doesn't it? We've got one leg. Maybe we're pushing up to this other leg. Maybe we're ranging. I think that's... I'd like to see what we've got from Mac, really, to work this out. Interesting to see. He hasn't given us anything yet. Oh, God. Sorry if you can hear that howling. It's my dogs. Oh, excuse me a second. Okay, sorry about that. I wish I hadn't punched that other monitor of mine now. I could have done with an extra screen. Let's see if we got anything from Mac yet. Nothing on the email. Just want to see if there's anything on the website. Just want to get that right, really. It'll give me an idea of what's going on here then, see. Midday charts. It's the 15th today. No, nothing yet. Okay. It's given us nothing yet. Yeah, sorry. Just meant to mention earlier I spoke to... it's called One Click Trader. I noticed, I think, on Daniel's chart that used to post, I think a couple of others, they've got this, there's an extra box here with a few little things, and I think what it enables you to do was to open up a limit order without having to do this.
Order submitted.
Because the trouble is, as soon as you do that, it blocks your thing and you can't move it. It's a bit of a pain. So with this extra thing, now it's $200, but it's a lot of money for, I don't know whether it's something that I'll use. So I asked if I could just get a trial on it for a few weeks. I did say I streamed, and I said, you know, if I like it, it's something I use, then you may get a bit of business. So I'm going to download it into NinjaTrader tonight and just have a play with it on a demo. I don't really want to use it on a live account, but I noticed a few traders use it. So okay, we got a channel here working up. Now there is a little bit of congestion around there. Now, touches there, and touches there. So whether this might be the area where we come down for a couple of legs and push up, but it looks to me like there's a bit of a leg and a little bit of sideways and another leg. Now, how accurate that is, I don't know, or whether it's accurate, but I do think that gives me a better idea of where it's going to go. Now, we do seem to be ranging now. It is possible we've had this channel and we've got a couple of legs up and we may come down and make a new low. But I tend to like trading channels this size because if you can get a second entry down here, second entry long, they seem to be pretty accurate. Now that's why I wanted something from Mac just to confirm we haven't had a break from this channel, because if we've had a break, then I'm thinking we are moving up. If we haven't had a break and this is it could then move down, which just makes me have to think a little bit harder. But there's clearly a bit of congestion there. You can see the top of it, can't you? Or a bit of support rather. You can see it in that bar, and you can see it in there, and clearly here it's in fact that almost looks like a triple test, doesn't it? We come down, we go once, twice, 3 times. Let's see what happens. Zoom in a bit. It played out pretty short. Yeah, I think you might be right. And I'll tell you why is I have a play around with this chart above my head. Now that I'm going to drag this in a bit. That looks pretty alright to me. Started from here, push down, pushed up, working this section, aren't we? Clearly working the lower section, sort of thing. Looks like a break and a new low. So that does look like it's played out. That's the beauty of having another screen, is you can zoom out and see a bigger picture. This doesn't always give you it for some reason. Now we've had a little bit of a break, but no, nothing really that you could take. In fact, yeah, it does look like a break. I can't see if we've gone from here, touch there, it does look like a break. We'll see. Yeah, sometimes it's a pain to have to zoom out all the time like that. It's useful just to keep in low so you can see the bars, but I can have a quick glimpse above my head. See a bigger picture. It's really more useful when there's a lot more price action and the day stretches out a bit, and you obviously, you know, another hour or two and there's gonna be a lot more price action, so it's useful to keep zoomed in here. Downtrend's played out. Yeah, it looks to me, it does look to me like this. Somewhere around there. Pushed in this bottom section, pushed up, worked in there. Yeah, that looks okay. That I'm quite happy with that. I mean, I would like that to work in there like that. I like the way it works in that bottom tier and the top tier, but obviously you're in the middle of, it's got to come from somewhere, isn't it? So I'd say there's as good as anywhere. In fact, it may actually be like this. We're working in there. This may be a bit of an overshoot. But I don't think it matters anyway. If it's an overshoot, it's played out anyway, so it doesn't matter. We're clearly moving up. Touch. A little bit of a break. I've got more of a short-term trend on my downtrend. There is a perfect measured move, close outside. Yeah, I don't know where you've done your measured move from. Probably here somewhere. Really, it goes here, doesn't it? Because that's the biggest. There's the biggest sort of retracement or pullback. You've got a leg and a correction. And obviously it hasn't got nowhere near it, is it? Or you could maybe... no, that doesn't work for me. I'm just wondering actually whether this, let's have a look, ends up being a bit of a spike in a channel. And that works like that. Kind of does, doesn't it? I just like the angle it's going up at. The thing I don't like is it's just touched once. Or it could be there. And there. Could be something like that. I don't know really. I'm not. It looks better on my bigger chart at the top. Fits quite nice in there. Be interested to see how far that goes up. Okay, if you look at that leg, sideways to there, it's played out perfectly. So that tells me that looks like two legs. We've pushed up, we've had a little bit of sideways, right to the tick there. Started right at the lows there. Pushed up again and touched that. So let's see what happens now. Probably more accurate to say I've got the same as Mac. I didn't notice he got anything out yet. I just had a quick look on his site. Let's have a look. I did go on there a minute ago, but there's nothing there. Midday charts. There we go. It's the 15th today, isn't it? Yeah, brilliant. Must have only just gone on in the last few minutes, I think. Let's have a look. Yeah, okay. Okay, so that initial one, how I had it was right. Where is it? That's how I initially had it, the small one like that. And that one goes from the bottom, yeah. So he's only just literally put that up. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Excellent. Okay, so that was right. So it's around about there. I don't think it really matters anyway. It looked about right to me. That's the one thing I will say that looked okay. Yeah, it's clearly working there, is it? So we've clearly had a break and a couple of legs down. So taking that one, I'm kind of glad I left it because we'd had a break, we'd had a push down, we'd had a new low, and there was a couple of finished there close to the bottom ones. So that one made that one a little bit riskier. We didn't know that was going to come down, which made me realise maybe Matt would adjust his channel. It does look like you could adjust that anyway, doesn't it? Let's have a quick look from these lows. Let's see if we can work that up to somewhere. Yeah, It's possible it's something like that. But then if it is, we've just pushed straight up out of it. So I don't think it matters. I think that's the shore on. And that's the first way I had it. It clearly looks like a small channel, that doesn't it? But it may be that there's a bigger channel. It may be turn into something like that, but I don't think it matters either way. The fact is it's played out. So this is clearly working up now, and this is how Max got his drawn. So it looks fine to me. So that measured leg has played out, if you can call it a measured leg. It does look like it. We've had a move up there. We've gone sideways a bunch of bars, and we've had another move up, and it does play out to the nearest tick. So that's fine. So it does look like we may end up just having a range day today, but I don't mind these type of range days that move quite nicely. That it does give you opportunities. The only trouble is the opportunities really are at the bottom because of the angles it move at, it tends to leave the EMA and not come back to the EMA to here, but then it does give you options. So I like these channels because if we can make a second entry down to here, it's always a trade I like to take. Just going to bring that down a bit to there. Reason being, if we can break below there a second entry and then maybe finish close to the top of that above the EMA, it's a nice area to bounce off. It's okay, so it's looking like a break. Let me just push that up a touch to about there. Touch, touch, touch. Okay. You're going short, are you? I can't go short yet. Got a channel moving up. Usually, in most cases, you'll have a break of a channel and a new extreme high in this case. Unless you're just shorting here to the EMA. 4139 you're shorting, are you? You're shorting there. So where's your stop loss above there, is it? Yeah, see, I'd expect your stop loss to be there, I'm assuming, or somewhere around about there. I'm expecting a couple of little legs here and a new high. Now, what I will say is it is possible we end up having something like this. Maybe a bigger channel. That's a possibility. So I always like to keep an eye out for these, because if it does end up doing something like that, going along here might not be the best opportunity, the best option, because there is a possibility we got one leg, another leg. In fact, that yeah, I'm not going long here at all, and I'll tell you why. One leg, two leg. It's perfect 2 legs up. So we got a leg down, a 2-legged correction. I expect this to come back down. So that for me is more accurate. So let's see if we can trap some longs and come short. So Harjit, I think short wasn't a bad call. I think it's going to be like this. So if that's the case, we have a leg down there and there, and we have a 2-legged correction from there to there, which is played out perfectly. I like that. So let's just see what happens here. See if we can end up bullish and trap some longs. But I expect this is the top of the correction. Max says enter on corrections. If we can get a failure or something to continue to push down, I'd like that. I'm hoping this finishes bullish and triggers. And if it does, my sell order is going to be below there. Now, it might push up, but if it doesn't, I like that. So there may be some people going long there. So if that triggers, I'm going to put a sell order below there.
Order submitted.
Trigger. Maybe some people going along there, see? In which case, we'll push up. Go on. It looked like a 2-legged correction to me, that. look where it's finished. Look where the bars have closed. One leg, two leg. I want something to finish bullish here and to trigger in some longs, and then I can go short there and hopefully get some points out of this market. Whether it is like that, I'm not 100% sure, but we touch there, and touch there, which has confirmed this channel to me. Let's keep an eye on this. Careful, yeah. Okay, that's triggered. So if you're taking that short, that's triggered. Now, if it drops below here, it's a failure. So it might push up, but if it does come down, try to go once, try to go twice. Let's pull it out just in case. It might go higher, but it might not. There's no harm in putting an order down there, because if it does come down and stop out the longs, chances are you've been trapped to the long side and the market's coming down. So be nice to come up here again, wouldn't it? First test, second test. If we can get a triple test, a short, that'd be beautiful. Now, I might be wrong, but I'd rather be on the right side than the wrong side. Now, it might go up, but it might not. One leg. Try go once, try go twice. Failed. That's a failed second entry long if it closes below here. See, I've put the angle of that bar down there. Look where it's touched. Does that tell me it's coming down? See how that finishes. May come up, see, and bounce off here and come down. It may indeed push higher, and I might have it wrong. But I'd rather have it wrong than get into a long when I think the market's coming down. And the reason I think it's coming down is because we've had this nice long sort of working down, haven't we? And to me, we've had two legs up. So to me, I think it's highly likely we're going to have another leg down, one leg down, two legs down. That's what I think. So why am I thinking that? I don't know. Maybe experience is telling me I've seen this happen lots of times before. Or maybe I'm wrong, but it does look like a leg, a two-legged correction, and then another leg. And I'd rather get in it up here if the chances are, because you can run it right down. Okay, two legs down. Quite a bullish bar, but EMA's flat and it's below the EMA, so maybe this is a higher low. I don't know. We'll see. It may indeed push up. I'm not bothered about that. If it does, it does. I'm not losing anything, but get a second entry short here. Push up a little bit, come down. Or it could be just one leg down, two legs down, and then a push up. You know, it could be. Hopefully see if there is some longs trapped there. Second entry long, that one triggered. although the EMA is flat, not the ideal place to go long, but if you're expecting a new high after this, then quite likely you're going to be in there. But it also may trigger below here. Now, if I jump in there, it might trigger me, and what it might be is one leg down, two legs down, and then it's going to push higher, which means I'm trapped again. So one leg down, two legs down. If it triggers below here, and I've got an order, I'm thinking, yeah, it's coming down, but it might just be one leg down, two legs down, and a push up. I don't think it is. I mean, for me, that channel looks like it's been confirmed. Started here, touched a few times here, touched here. I might be wrong, but it looks right to me. One leg down, a two-legged correction, and another leg down. We'll see. See if anybody jumps in on this higher low. Indeed, it might push up, but you might get a second entry short off here. I don't know. Okay, there's a higher low. See if that triggers. I mean, it may well go up. It's looking like it might, but if it does tick above there and comes down and hits that stop, that for me is coming down. In which case, if it does, there'll be a second entry short there, which will take us through this stop. Might just be touching this. The reason I'm looking at this is because I've been stuck in trades like this before. I've gone, oh, there's a higher low, and it goes up, bounces off here and comes down, and then when I zoom out and draw a bigger picture, I realise I'm trying to go high after this, and what I've missed is a downtrend. So I try to be aware of the bigger picture of what I may be missing. Your broad channel ain't right. Second entry long, higher low. Maybe it isn't. The only reason I've drawn that is because I'm not going to go high here. Sorry, I'm not going to go long, just in case. Anticipate a new high. I absolutely agree with you. But what I'm saying is, it's triggered. Now, if it does come down and take out that stops, and comes down and takes out that stops, to me, I'm saying I may be right. I don't want to get in there and go long because I think it might make a new extreme, and it might. But the bigger picture might be coming down. So we've started here, touched here, and touched here. We've made one big leg down. We'll often do that. We'll make a big leg down, we'll make a two-legged correction, and then we'll make another leg down. And we don't usually draw this bigger channel until it starts to come down. I mean, we'll see what happens. Okay, so not only is there a higher low, there's a failure there. So it probably is going to go higher, but if it doesn't and comes down, I'd say it's more likely then that this overall's right and we're going to come down for another leg. I mean, this might not be perfectly right, but that to me looks like a leg. That to me looks like a two-legged correction. We'll see. There's no harm. No harm, no foul. I'm not going long, so there's no problem. And I'm not going long just because it's funny how it's gone up there and closed twice right on that line. That again is giving me alarm bells. And if it pushes below here, then that would tell me that I think the market's coming down. If I was in that trade now, I'd be pretty concerned. Considering it's a higher low, a beautiful bar sat on that EMA, and people are expecting a new extreme, it's not pushed up very well. I may be wrong. This might be one leg up, a correction, and another leg up. But for me, so far, the day's bearish. So far. Which is why I'm staying out of this long trend. There's probably going to be a few traders in that long trend. That long trade, sorry. So if it does start to push down, maybe I can get a lower high or something coming down. I put that in there because there's clearly some support and resistance there. There's some support there, there's some support there, and it's more or less sat on the top. So it might jump up and bounce off there and push high. It might do. But it's too risky for me to go long there because, and I've been trapped in these before, there may be a bigger picture. And it's always good to look at the bigger picture. Because if that bigger picture is right, it's going to cause me, it's going to cause me problems. I'm happy to be wrong. I'd just rather be wrong and not take a trade than be wrong and take a trade. Now, okay, so we're clearly struggling here, aren't we? Now, is that because of this down channel? It's possible, isn't it? Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. Does that confirm it to you? It's starting to look like it might be another leg down here to me. Looks like 1 leg, 2 leg. It looks like 2 little legs, that does to me. 1 leg, 2 legs. Look where it's finished. What do you think? 1 leg, 2 legs. We've had a break and 2 legs. Look where we're finishing on this line. It's not pushing up strongly, is it? Which I wouldn't want to be in a trade there. I'll be concerned. I'm not saying it's going to work, but it's looking less and less likely. So, made a new high after this. Trying to go higher once. If we can push through the EMA, pull up and close below here, then I'm maybe interested in going short. If you can get on these moves early enough, you got more chance of holding them. I mean, I watched a video the other day, Max says enter on corrections. Now, if we've had a break at this, we've come back and we've hit it a few times, and then we start moving in this area, the best place to get in is here, because the chance of it, even if it comes down and goes a bit higher here or a bit higher here, you got a lot chance, you know, your runners are going to do a lot better. I'm not saying I'm right. But that doesn't, considering it's a higher low and it looks like a beautiful bar, it ain't pushing up very quickly, is it? And it's clearly stumbling on that line. And what it might come down is come down rapidly, because there may be some longs in there. I'll happily be wrong. I absolutely agree, mate. But I've been caught out on these before. So I'm seeing what may happen, which is why I'm not in a hurry to go long there. And if I was in that trade, I'd be getting a bit nervous about it now. Now, I'm not saying it's not going to work, but I'd rather miss a trade just in case I'm trapped. So I like to give these, you know, weak buying pressure. Yeah, I mean, it might push up. I just don't know. It's making me a bit nervous, that's all. So let's just get this channel right, because it's not perfect there. It's not touching there, so it can actually go up a little bit to maybe about there. So it still may hit the high. I don't know, and that to me, funny how it's touching right there and fitting nice there. It's all right. It wasn't accurate. It's usually off that. It starts there off that next big swing, which is here. It's fitting nice there and it's touching there. So if we do push down below here, it's going to take out some longs there. Maybe some longs here, taking a failure, and maybe some longs here. Although in my opinion, that's probably a worse place to take it. It's worse. EMA's flat and it's below the EMA anyway. That would be a better option if you are going long. I just hate being in these trades when they go really slow. Okay, there's a new high. So I'm happy to ignore that now. I'm just saving myself just in case, because I've seen this before.
Order
I've been
cancelled.
caught out in it before, and I just like to just take the chance, just be aware that there could be a bigger channel working down, maybe a channel or two-legged correction. Always better to miss a trade than to get into a bad trade. Like I say, I absolutely agree. But I've been caught out in those before. I've thought, I've got long here. Why hasn't it made a new high? And it comes down. And all of a sudden, I realise there's a bigger channel. So I just like to cover all bases. I absolutely admit, as a trade, especially the higher low, it's nice. But I just, with that leg, a couple of legs up, it just, it can make another leg down. And I just like to be nice patience. Yeah, I think sometimes you've just got to, when you get caught out in these, it just makes you aware. And I think sometimes if something doesn't feel right, I think it's a good instinct to maybe keep out. Because if I had gone in there at a tank, I'd have gone, why didn't I think about that there may be a bigger picture? I mean, at the moment, it's ranging, but we've only really come up to the top, gone down to the bottom and come halfway. Now, another thing, and I know Mac doesn't talk about these, but they do play a part. So look at that. So there's price, yeah? It's come back up to 50%. This is 50%. Now, I know they don't use these, but they can play a part. A lot of the time when you'll get something pushing down, it'll retrace 50%. And look where that's... Well, let me take that down to the... Where's the actual bottom? There's the actual bottom there. Where's the top? Right. Where's the 50%? Right here, look at that. Actually at the second leg. So it is a possibility that it could come down. Now, Matt mentioned this the other day, and he drew it and realised it was a couple of places that it came back where he expected it. So it can play a part, although I don't use it. But that, to me, looked like it come back roughly half of that, which means it could come down. So it looked like a leg. A two-legged correction followed by another leg, and I've been trapped in those trades going along, and all of a sudden market tanks, and I'm thinking, what did I do wrong? So it's always useful just to be aware of what else could be happening. Pretty close with the measured move. I shorted for 2 points. You did, yeah. You got your 2 points there. See, it could have trapped some longs and then come down, couldn't it? It was possible. See. And I just like to be aware of that, because if you get trapped in them, if you've been trapped in them before, when it happens again or something similar happens again, you just start to get that feeling that something's not quite what it is. And I think when you get that feeling, it's always good to listen to it. Now, if I'd have taken a trade there and it had gone down, I'd have kicked myself because it didn't move up in a hurry. And that may have been because... it was coming to an area where it may come back down. I don't know whether it will or not. He started putting that on after the big move. Yeah. Pretty close, yeah. Now, I've used the Fibonacci retracement tool before when I started trading, because I spent 6 months trading currency, but Mac doesn't tend to use it, but it can be a good indicator just from time to time to give you an idea of, something will retrace usually a certain amount. And it's good to be aware, because if you'd have put that on there and that had come up and literally finished here, it wouldn't have been random, would it? Because I guarantee you there will be some people who are using that and they'll be taking profits. So not only have you got that measured move, you've got the possibility of the 50% retracement. So I don't know. I just like to be extra cautious. I'd rather miss a trade than get caught out. Experience of losing trades or missing trades just make you be aware of them. And I think it's usually a good thing. Sometimes you might miss out on a trade, but the punishment of sitting where that's going to go in slowly. I've seen trades like that and I've been stuck in. All of a sudden they go wham, come down, and I'm wondering what the hell's happened, and then all of a sudden I zoom out. Yeah. All of a sudden I'm wondering what the hell's happened. Why didn't it work? And then I realised there's a bigger picture. That's my own deviation from... Look, it's okay to adjust things. It's a natural thing to do. You know, I had this discussion. Someone said, I mentioned about going for more points. And someone said, I don't think you should change Mac's system. Mac's been trading that way for years. He said he's tried everything. And I absolutely agree. But what I will say is when I started trading, Mac said 2 points maximum risk. Then you could do it. But so many of the times you can't do it now. So if the bars are bigger, there's more movement, the risk's bigger. And if the bars are bigger and the risk's bigger, then it goes without saying that you can move your profit a little bit more. And even people like, I'm pretty sure Daniel does, but I know Marco goes for 6 ticks now, which is 50% more profit. You have to. At the moment, the ATR is just under 2. So let's say, for argument's sake, a tick above, tick below, that's 2.5 points. So you're risking 25% more risk. So surely you have to compensate for that. Otherwise, trading just gets harder and harder. You know, I mean, if we look at what trades were today. So there was that trade, yeah, today. Clearly went for more than 2 points. If you took that high low, clearly went for more than 2 points. Go through your charts or your trades. If you still trade 1 point, go through your trades, look through the more experienced trades and work out how many of their trades went for 2 points or more. You'll be astonished. When I first went from 1 point to 2 points, I looked at Daniel's, and because Daniel used to post his charts daily going back 12, 18 months. And I went back over his charts for 2 weeks, 10 trading days, and I think there was about 34 trades. Mostly red ones, but there were some green ones as well. And every single one of them went for over 2 points. The numbers never lie. So for me, it had to be a minimum of 2 points. And I hear more and more people talking about 1-to-1 now, which is there or abouts. But I was just sick of taking 4 winning trades, working my ass off, being 4 points up. ATR's slightly high, taking a 3.5 point bar, 3 3/4 point bar with a tick above, tick below, taking away the commissions. A 1-4, lost 1, and I was in the red. It's heartbreaking. Now, you've got to bear in mind that Mac makes most of his money from his runners. You know, Mac knows how these charts move and work. He'll make the bulk of his money from his runners. But if like me, you haven't got the luxury of being able to trade 5 contracts and maybe one of them are a runner, then I think you're going to struggle personally. But I know Mac changes the rules. If you remember, there was a nice trend up a couple of weeks ago, and Mac put 2 blue arrows or red arrows, whatever he does, on 2 dojis. Clearly what you would never do. There was a little bit of discussion on what's it, but Mac knows these charts inside out, and he knows when he can bend the rules and adapt the rules. So, you know, like Mac says sometimes, you know, and I've heard him say on these strong downtrends, every time it comes back to the EMA, just go short. Well, that's clearly against the rules if it isn't a second entry short. But he's bending the rules because he clearly knows that if markets are strong, literally whenever it comes back, you can more or less short it. But that's not what we're taught. So, you know, things can always be adjusted, and they always will be. It's just part of life the way it is. Okay, so we might have a leg and a leg. I'm removing that. So, you know, I'm not saying Mac's right. I mean, Mac's the man. He's the master at this. He's been doing it years. He knows what he's doing. You know, I owe him everything I've learned today is because of Mac. he's charged me a ridiculously cheap price to learn a system which I think is going to change my life in the not so distant future. So I'd never say he's wrong or think he's wrong, but I think it's natural human instinct as you watch these markets. You bend with them slightly when things happen. And yeah, the ATR is quite low, isn't it? What is it? 1.86. So it's just under 2.5 point risk. So you can't do the 2 point risk anymore. It doesn't often happen. So if the bars are bigger, your risk's bigger. It goes without saying. Your profit's a little bit bigger. So I mean, I personally think, and this is just my opinion, I think you need to be trading 6 ticks or above. A lot of people will say more, but I think 6 ticks. And if you go from 4 to 6 ticks, effectively you're taking your profits up just on your scalps by 50%. Exactly, Indy. Exactly. Something Bruce Lee like water. I can't remember what he said now. What did he say? Something about flowing. I can't remember. It does look like a leg and a leg, and that would make sense to get up to these highs. And funnily enough, if you look where that leg is, it's right at that area. So if we can get something here, then it does look like a leg, a break, or a couple of legs back, a leg, a break, and a leg, doesn't it? See this all the time, a leg. It goes right to the top of one side, right to the opposite side, and then works its way up again, and that would take us right there to these areas of support. Can I share a YouTube channel here? You can type it, mate. You can't share a link or anything, but you can type it. You can't put links on these for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah, you can just type it if you want, mate. I've got no problem with that. As long as it's legal and people have got fully clothed. And if they're not, you can share that with me directly through Messenger. Empty your mind, be formless, shapeless like water. There we go. That's it. You have to go with the flow. You do, don't you? And sometimes things change and adapt. And I think the more hours you spend doing this, I think you'll naturally move with it, won't you? Some days I feel really in tune with the markets, and I can I'm quite good at predicting things. I can work out where it's going to go, and it works really well. Other days, it's just bouncing over the place, and I don't know what's going on. Sometimes you feel like I've got this market sussed, and then other days you feel like a pig on roller skates. So we had that little bit of a push up, and then we worked in this top tier, and now we pushed to the other side, and now we're working in this bottom tier. We see that all the time. One push up, a pull back, and another push up, fit in nice with an ear. So I fully expect to get up here. So if we can get a little bit of a break, then I mean, if we can get something around here, there's a potential 10 points up to these highs. I mean, there's a failure there, which obviously worked, but I was still thinking of a possible downtrend there. But no, there clearly wasn't a downtrend. But I like to keep my options open. Am I getting to start? I like to think, does this something didn't feel right about it? And I think you're always best to listen to those feelings. I'm looking at the big measured move. My expectations is that price will go to resistance, but at least looking for the measured move as a target. Are you all about the same sort of measured move I've got there, bud, have you? One leg, two leg. Let's get rid of this smaller stuff. Who's that? Brain. Are you all about that type of thing there and then up there? Just going to get rid of that. It does look like the perfect move, doesn't it? Push up, pull back, push up. Just like a bigger version of two little legs, isn't it? But another thing that makes me a little bit nervous is we have just come up to the open here, which was on that bar there. Let me just check. Yeah, okay. I mean, I'm still thinking bullish at the moment. This does look like it might end up just being a range deal. We've gone up, we've come down, we've gone up. We had a little bit of a breakout there, so... yeah, you are. Yeah, excellent. Yeah. I prefer two legs here. Sometimes when you get these, though, you know, as Max says, jump on anyone, but the trouble is, just in case it does come down. I'm trying to get into that mentality that no matter how good that looks, it's clearly only a first entry and I just can't get in. I'm trying to get away from that mentality that it looks like it's doing this, let's just jump in or take a poor trade. I've just got to be really selective. It's the only way I'm ever going to be successful at this. Okay, first entry, get something else. It is, yeah. It looks like a clear leg, doesn't it? And this is a correction. So the way it's going up, you would fully expect it to get up to there, wouldn't you? What I've got to be careful of, though, is just randomly jumping in. Because if I get in here now, it may come down, stop me out, and then end up shooting up. So, oh, hello. There's the first entry. Okay. Yeah, for those obvious reasons, strange things can happen. Or it is possible we've got one channel, we've made a break and a new high, and we may be coming back down. This may be a bigger channel down with, I don't know, a break. It could still come down and make a new low from here, which would sort of make a sort of a bigger channel down. It's just hard to say at the moment. I'm just trying to be aware of all scenarios. Okay, first entry. Can't take that really. Although it does look good, doesn't it? But trouble is, showing them, I think, oh, I'll get in. It's good, and it ticks up and comes down. Takes me out. Just have to play the rules. If it goes without me, it goes without me. All I've got to think about doing is playing the game, following the rules. Okay, this may now turn into okay. So, if there's traders just with that channel, we've had a break and a new high, there may be some gone short there, see? So maybe we've got an option to go long here, in which case I expect it. This might be, I mean, this could be two separate legs, which we know has worked. And now we've got another two separate legs. That one and that one.
Order submitted.
If this finishes bullish, I am 100% taking this. Okay, just in case it is a short-term trend channel
Order
break, we've made a
submitted.
new low, so I'm okay with that. Short-term trend channel break, new low, just in case. Okay. Short-term trend channel break, new low. So that's played out just in case. Where am I going to go from? 44.75. I'm going to go for the full 4 points here because I think this is another leg. Now, I was aware it could be a failure and it could stop me out, but I like it and it does look like a leg with a break and another leg, so I'm okay with that. It's a 2 point risk, which is low, so that's fine. 38.75, 39.75, 40.75. Yeah, it's only a 2 point risk, so that's good. So I'm going to go for the full 4 points. Because this does look like a leg and a leg, I expect it to get up to here. If it pushes up, nice green bar after another, I might see if I can get a little bit more. We'll see. But I like the trade. Didn't even make 2 points anyway yet, so I'm all right with it. I like the trade. No issues with the trade whatsoever. Yeah, there's two separate legs there. I think there's two separate legs there. One leg and another leg. So I expect to at least get up to here. That would be the first target. Second target would be there. Let's just remove that. May go a bit sideways, I don't know. Maybe a higher low, I don't know. If we get above here, then I expect that to continue up. But the trade I like, I got no problems with it. In fact, I'm going to give this one extra tick. Just try it on here, see if it makes a difference, just in case. I don't think it will, but 2.25 risk. I don't mind that ticking below a bit. Well, it's not looking too good.
Order filled.
I'm quite surprised. Okay, perhaps that is just one channel. Perhaps it's a breaking a new high. Who knows? Okay, so maybe this is one leg, two legs. Let's see. Okay. That's not too bad. Let's have a look. That's not too bad, actually. Okay, so maybe that is just one leg. Seems the way. Yeah, I think it's more like that then. Okay, well, that's okay. So there is a possibility. Could be it could be like a spike in a channel. I don't know. Possible. Yeah, or the open, or one of them. See, it does look a bit odd, doesn't it? What did it go? So it went for a scalp, but nothing more. Let's have a look. Yeah, you'd have squeezed a point out of that. What I shouldn't have done, actually, is just assumed that that was a bigger channel. I should have left it just as the small channel, which might have kept me away from that. It did look like it was going to go up for 1 minute. So what was it? There's a loss on it. 2.25. See, if you look at, if I just bring this down, if you look at that, touch deer, touch deer, touch deer, touch deer. So maybe this is going to turn into a pushed up and a break, new high. Try once, try twice, fail, come back down. It's hard to say at the moment. It's just still a bit too early. But that's played out anyway for sure. So maybe we think about bounced off here. Maybe we think about shorts for now. To me, it looked like a leg, a pullback and another leg. I had it from down here, didn't I? It's just it was touching here and it was sort of touching here, and well, it looked like a break. So we made a new high. Try to go once, try to go twice, failure. Okay, excuse me a second. I'm just going to take a quick 2-minute bathroom break. Okay. Possibility of that. Touched. Looks like a spike in channel. It's hard to say. Yeah, they did, mate. Yeah, I'm looking for something. It certainly seems to be working. Touch, 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 touch a couple of times, touch a couple of times, significantly working. I did look at that, but trouble is who knows? Got to be something. And we've had a leg up. We still could make another leg up. Will get us up to here again. We need something really to push us up a bit. I mean, the two legs might be right, but I shouldn't have drawn that channel really, the bigger channel, until we come back and confirmed it a few more times. Come down, come on.
Order submitted.
There is a second entry short there, which is triggered. Bars and naff anyway, I think. Second entry short there. Just trigger it. Bars and naff.
Order cancelled.
Hmm. Okay, possible second entry long off here. Let's Clearly working off this line. Just going to get rid of that a minute. Yeah, this is congestion, this is. It's a small risk, isn't it? 1.25. Trouble is, I much prefer to take off the bottom. It's the type of thing that would trigger you and come down there. Sideways. Not a fan of it there. It's floating off the bottom a bit too much. I know it's a small risk, but it's just not worth it.
Order filled.
It's a small risk. It does still seem like we're going up. I'm just going to go for a couple of fights. 39, 41. It seems like we're going up. See if we can get a couple of points. Just try to go down. 2-point risk. Does look like we're working off. It is a second entry long off the key entry point. It's clearly working off that line, and it's going a bit sideways as well. Second entry long, small risk off that key entry point. It's clearly touching there, clearly touching there, clearly touching there, clearly touching there. Uh, 1.75 point risk, so it's a relatively small risk. You reckon? All right, let's give it an extra tick just for the fun of it. How long have we been trading? I think this is it anyway after this, I think. It's clearly working off that line. There's no argument there. See how it finishes. 2-point risk. Go on, push, you bugger. Hmm. You can't argue it's working in that channel. Touched a bunch of times. Touched, 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 touched. It's just struggling. I'm in two minds whether to get out of it. Trouble is, whenever I get out of it, it always ends up going for a nice bit of points. It's also new low. It's a failure as well. Second entry long failure. Off the key entry point. It's hard to make a decision really, but hate it when it does this. It's clearly still working along that line. Might come out of it if it gets me back to break even. See how this bar finishes. If this finishes south of the EMA, it is a second entry long off the key entry point, but let's come out for break even if it gives us the option. It's come too far now to not pass there, I think. Okay, if it's going to one tick and then push up, then I'm going to take a bit more of it. It's going to stop me out, I'm pretty sure of it now. It is frustrating when you see these. It's a second entry off the key entry point. Yeah, it's below the EMA, but I see Mac taking them below the EMA. See how this finishes. If this finishes above the EMA, I'll stay in it. If it finishes below, I'll come out of it. Go on, push up, you bugger. Still sitting on that key entry point. Go on, get up. Go on. Above the EMA. I mean, you could say that is a triple test, yeah? And once, twice, three times, triple test in the direction of the EMA. So let's have a look at that. Okay, no one can argue about that, agreed. 1, 2, 3, triple test. Might just have a bit of a push up now. Once it gets to these highs, I'll come out of it. But it's a triple test. We're clearly working up. It's clearly working off that key entry point. 9. Let's go for 5 points if it gives us it. We'll see. 1, 2, 3. It's a triple test and it's sat right off that key entry point. If it breaks above there, I expect it to push up. There'll be some stops there. We'll see how we get on. Push above that one, go on. That's a nice bar, that is. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is drop that there because I am not giving anything up. So, come on. I love the bar. Above here and here, there may be some stops. Come on, push up, baby. Come on. Come on. Push. Come on. There we go. Come on. Push, push, push. We get above here and here, I think we'll be okay. I don't want to give up too early. I'm going to sit back a bit because I think this is a nice trade. We've come sideways over to here. Look where it's sitting beautifully. I can't see how there's any argument there. Come on. I've got to bring it back here. I've got to. It's a triple test. It's not gone up that far. Got to give it a bit more room to breathe. I've got to do break even at least. I've got to. I know it might not give me any profits, but come on. No. Come on, push up. I've got to do break even. I've got to. Hopefully if it gives us a higher low. But it might take us out. I've got to try. I can't lose anything else.
Stop filled.
Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. I love the bar. It comes sideways sitting here, but I can't risk it coming down and taking me out. It's clearly a triple test. I ended up coming out break even. That's a shame. I just can't risk it dropping and having a loss. At least I haven't lost anything there. That was a shame. It didn't even make the highs. You know, I mean, you could have said maybe I'd have took it up here, but you just don't know, do you? After that, at the triple test, I expected it to push up, but the fight is on. Yeah, never mind. I just couldn't risk it coming down and taking me out. That'd be stupid. Lads, your trading is all over the place. I went there, second entry long, and it's off the key entry point, touching. It's clearly working this channel. And I stayed in it, and it came down and didn't take me out, and then formed that triple test, and then pushed higher. I expected it to come out the top, but see, it does look like there's a channel there. I mean, it's touching the top, so the only thing is it's coming sideways there, isn't it? I still expect it to go up. We've had this triple test. 2, 3. Has anybody not seen that triple test who wouldn't take a trade there now? I know there's not much room to the highs. Yeah, that was the second entry long I took. I liked it because it was off this, I mean, once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. It's clearly touching. In my second entry long was that one. It was a second entry long. I liked it because we pushed up and we've broken out and we seem to be working in this sort of channel now, which is why I took it. It was quite a small risk. And it obviously came up and down, but when it pushed up there, we came down once, twice, 3 times, triple test, nice big bullish bar, and I thought that then would push us out. It went up about 1.75 points, something like that. I can't remember what it was, 2 points from where I took it. But it just seemed like a nice bar to take. I just liked it after there. Yeah, if I scalped, well, I know what you're saying. But to be fair, let's have a look. Yeah, I got 2.5 points out of it. I mean, it's still not over yet. It's still, we see it all the time. It'll go sideways, sideways, sideways. As soon as it gets this EMA, it'll start working up. But we're clearly getting higher highs and higher low. Well, higher highs, higher lows. So I still think it's likely to push up, but we'll see. Triple test was there, but only for the scalp. Yeah, maybe. But it's because we're working up, I held on to it a bit longer. Yeah, sometimes it'll just work when sometimes they work. Maybe I should have come out at 2 points. I just wanted enough to just get me out of the colour. I went about a tick above it, didn't I? Yeah. Oh well. Hey Sam, how you doing, bud? How's the PAB? Not so brilliant. I'm down, well, about $120 on each account, and $240 on the one. Took that second entry long. It was off the key entry point. I know it was below the EMA, but 1 leg, 2 legs down. It was a small risk, and we touched here, touched a bunch of times here, touched here, touched here. It looks to me, but the market's starting to go a bit sideways. If it broke, I was hoping it was going to break above here and here. And if it had done that, I'd have dropped me stopping and then hopefully see again. It's still sat on that line. Look, it's clearly, to me, it's clearly respecting that line. Yeah, they don't bother me so much. Trouble is, when you get these channels, a lot of the time they'll go sideways till they get to a nice looking bar here and then push up. I thought, to be honest with you, that one where it closed above the EMA, sat right on top of that line, was the golden ticket then. The reason I waited, I thought it was going to push out, or at least start working up. Maybe as we get a second entry long here. I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, Sam, I go between 2 and 4 points depending. But it's gone sideways and it's kicking off there. In a lot of cases, you'd then expect that to push out there and move on. And now it's doing what I expected it to do. See, that if I'd have left that, well, we'll see. I still watch Max Lessons, Coco. I still watch them. I mean, for me, from my point of view, touch here, touched a couple of times here, touched here, touched here, touched here, touched here. We're making higher highs. So I took a second entry long, which was a small risk, right off the key entry point. Now, I didn't take 2 points. I expected it to go out because it's clearly working up that line. So, I mean, if it had shot out and worked higher, you'd have said it was a good trade, and it clearly scalped anyway. You know, it's just I go for a little bit more points. But the trouble is, sometimes when you're going for more points, you do lose a little bit more. If I was still scalping for a point, I'd be earning a lot less. I'm losing 2.5 points in a trade and scalping a point. At least one win can take over from a bad loss. It's just unfortunately it's started to go a bit sideways. Nah, it's not, mate. I disagree. A point's not enough. It's not enough. I mean, even I don't think Daniel goes for a point anymore. I know Marco certainly doesn't. Taylor goes between 2 and 4 points. I think so many more people. A point's just not enough, in my opinion. It's not. If you can afford to trade 5 contracts, scalp 4 and have 1 as a runner, but I haven't got that luxury of trading that. It's not enough to make a good living. It's not. I absolutely disagree with that. Well, what it was is I put my take profit up here. I was waiting for it to break these highs, and I was going to drop my stop in and hopefully see if I can follow it up. It's. I mean, to me, it's still making higher highs. Higher lows. So it's still working up, in my opinion, and pretty sure it's going to break out. What's my point? 1 point is not worth it, considering commissions. No, it's not. It's a killer, to be honest with you. Especially now. Daniel goes for 6 ticks. Yeah, it's a 6 ticks minimum. It's got to be. I just don't believe you can earn money from a point. I mean, I took a second entry long off the key entry point. It was a small risk. I was hoping to get to the highs. If it broke out the highs, I'd have dropped it on. 6 to 8 is perfect dependent. Yeah, I like what Taylor does. He goes for 2. Now, I expected it because it's working there to push higher than here. Now, it didn't. Now, if it had pushed higher and kept working up, and I'd have made 6 or 8 points, you know, people would be going, oh, good on you, good trade, blah, blah, blah. But it's just one of those things. Sometimes it just doesn't work. But to me, we've had this, it's almost like a spike and channel. We've touched 3 times here, touched a bunch of times here, touched here, touched here, touched here, touched here. We haven't closed below that line, which is telling me price is working up. Now it is going a little bit sideways as well. But when I took, I mean, we'd obviously broke a bit higher. When I took that, I didn't realise we were going to still keep doing this. I expected it to push higher. Now I sat and held on, and it ended up being a triple test. And I like to think that we're going to push higher. But, you know, I tend to adjust between Brooks likes 8 ticks. Yeah, I tend to think 2 points is the ideal now. Then maybe I should go back to 2 points while market conditions are choppy. But if you look back on trades, I mean, there was that trade, I didn't take it. Clearly went for more than 2 points. That one wouldn't have hit 2 points anyway. But if you look back on your trades, most of your trades will make over 2 points. Unfortunately, it's just seemed to have gone really choppy. I took a second entry long off the key entry point a bunch of times, key entry point. Clearly, to me, it's working up in this trend. EMA doesn't get any straight. I know. Penguin took the same loss as you, but then he longed again from that bullish bar, that one there. I don't think the area I took the trade is terrible. What's wrong with scalping? I'm just scalping for 2 to 4 points. That's all. I just don't believe you can. I don't think it's a terrible trade. It's just unfortunate. And if you look, technically, I'm still in this trade. I got out for break even, but I'm still in this trade. Technically, it was a second entry long off the key entry point. Other people would have taken it, I think. What's it? You said the Penguin took it. I think the Penguin's a great trader personally, but it's clearly still working up. You just don't know. Now, Penguin guy usually goes for 1-to-1, doesn't he? And it's a small risk. So maybe my only mistake there was not to get out for 2 points. I can live with that. But I don't think the trade's terrible. It's a second entry long off the key entry point. I mean, obviously, we've still considered sideways, still gone sideways, but we could have taken that one and pushed out strongly. And in that case, you'd have got some credit for taking a good setup and a good trade, Let's see be interested if Mac takes that trade. I wouldn't be shocked if he does, because it's clearly off the key entry point. Yeah, unfortunately, it's, after this, bounced off there. We've had 2 legs back. I expect it to carry on. Unfortunately, it's carried on going sideways, but it's still working up. So I don't think it's a terrible trade. It's not a second entry long. Of course it is. You got a new high, yeah? First entry, second entry. It's a perfect second entry long. 2 legs down, yeah? There's your first entry. We've come back down. There's your second entry. That's where I took the trade. I took it. But if you've got a range drawn, I would never risk trying to run through that kind of... Well, yeah. That's my problem sometimes because I'm down. It is what it is. But if you think about it at the moment... I'm technically still in that trade if I wouldn't have come out. But look what's happened. It's still bouncing off there and working high, and I'm pretty convinced it's just going to burst out. It's just sometimes trades just go sideways. I wouldn't be shocked if Matt takes that. But Matt will see. Yeah, I know he will, yeah. But the good thing about Mac is he can afford to scalp 1 point or whatever he does and then go for a runner. I haven't got the luxury of having the funds to be able to do that, see. And I'm pretty sure Max says don't risk a runner any more than 20% of your contract size, which I can't do. But what I have got, well, look, I follow people like the Penguin guy, and he goes for a minimum 1-to-1. Mostly he'll go for 1-to-1 or 1-to-2. I also follow Taylor, who'll go somewhere between 2 points and 4 points. So a lot of traders seem to go for more points now, but just sometimes things don't always work. I mean, when we had that triple test, if it had pushed out there, you'd have got a load of credit for it, but well, it is what it is. Let's have a look. So, okay, so I got 3 points out of that. So I wanted to take it to the highs. As soon as it broke out the highs, just drop it in. And then that got me in the red. Who was a Penguin from back one? No, Penguin traders. He's a good trader. He's a good technical trader, in my opinion. I'm convinced it's going to break that high, and if I'd have stayed in the trade, I think I'd have been in the money. But sometimes trades go sideways. It is what it is. It happens. I took a second entry short off that. You sound like you want to bypass the safe route to riches. You sound like you want to bypass the safe route to riches. It's why I've come down to 1 contract, that's all. I'm out of here. Okay, you gone anyway. I mean, I don't, I'm not teaching anybody to trade it. This is just me. This is just my, I'm learning as I go, and this is just my, my journey. I'm not, I don't charge people to watch me trade. I don't pay, it is what it is. Well, you say great trades don't go. I quite often see Mac marking trades, and sometimes they go sideways. Great trades. I'm not a what you. I'm not a great trader. I'm a relatively inexperienced trader trying to sort of make me way. I don't. I don't ask people to copy me or whatever. I just do what I feels right, and I'm learning as I go. But sometimes it goes sideways, it goes congested. It's it's one of those things. And we've all taken trades where they've gone congested. For me, it's clearly working in a trend channel. It's clearly making high lows, clearly. And I took a second entry long, small risk off the key entry point. That's all I can say. If Mac takes that trade, I'm going to rub a load of yours noses in it tomorrow. But I'm convinced it's going to break out. It is what it is. I took the trade. It is. I can't backtrack it. It happened. I came out for break even, so I came out of the trade. It's none of us are experienced traders making a fortune. There may be a couple of you, but we're all in the same boat. And we make mistakes and we make decisions and we learn from them. That's how you progress. Long was on the engulfing bar when it broke lower. I'm not. I can keep going on and on and on about it. There's nothing I can do about it. The trades, I can't, reverse time. The trade's gone. Took it for a scalp based on a range, yeah. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'll give streaming a break for a bit or something. I don't know. We'll see. It's just one of those things, but I don't want to upset anybody. I thought it was okay. Looked like a second entry long to me off the key entry point. Yeah, I went for a bit more points than maybe as I should have. I was expecting it to push above there, sideways. Oh well. Yeah, well, the trouble is when you get loads of comments saying, why did you do that? Why this? Why that? What, you know what I mean? That's sometimes why it goes against you. Sometimes it goes sideways, but if you look, they're still making higher lows. And it did what I expected it to do. Once it gets above there, see, I'd have just dropped my stop in and I'd have got my points. But the trouble is, when you get loads of comments, it just makes you, you know, a lot of sort of negative comments. It sort of changes your mindset a little bit. See, I expected it to break above here, which there may have been some shorts in there, which it's done. So I'd have dropped my stop in here, or my order in here, and maybe followed it up a bit, and followed it up a bit, followed it up a bit. So if I'd have just stayed in it, then where did I go about here? Then I'd have got 5 points out of that. I'd have dropped it in there. So that's the trouble sometimes. Some of the sort of negative stuff just gets you, you know. I mean, to me, it's a channel. It's clearly a channel working up. Touching, 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 touching. I took a second entry off the key entry point. Yeah, your May's a little bit flat, but sometimes, you know, it'll go flat. See, I could have had a nice bit of chunk out of that, and it's gone where I expected it to, up to the top of there. But sometimes trades just go sideways. It is what it is sometimes. But I need to stop looking at the comments. Yeah, see, other people took it, but oh well. See, there was clearly people in that trade. By the way, it just didn't come down because they just struggled to get it through there. I'll be shocked if Mac doesn't take it. The trouble is you get some negative stuff and it sort of just makes you sort of doubt yourself a bit. Yeah, just some of the negative stuff pays you off. IDES futures trader saying you sound like you want to bypass the safe route to riches. I'm out of here. So when you read stuff like that, it's not the safe route to riches. I was just trying to be patient and let the trade play what I thought it was going to. Once it went up there, I'd have dropped this in. And then if it went higher, I'd have followed it up. But sometimes you get negative stuff and it just, I don't know, just plays on your mind, makes you, you know, doubt yourself. Yeah, see the Penguin guy took it. I'll be surprised if Mac didn't take it. It's off the key entry point. Worked, you know. Okay, I think that's it for today, actually. Yeah, see, sometimes when you do them, you get a load of negative comments, and when it does what I thought it would do, no one says anything then. But oh well. Okay, I'm done for today. Okay, that's it. I appreciate all your comments. I'll be back here again tomorrow, and we will do it all again. So take it easy, and we'll catch up with you all again tomorrow.